Hey everyone, Anchita this side. Welcome back to AV Automation Hub. In this video, we will learn how to handle Baisc Auth in Cypress. So this is a sample website, which is authenticationtest.com. So whenever you try to access this website, it asks you to enter username password, but you can't enter any text also directly using the locator strategy. So in order to handle this in Cypress, there are multiple ways. So the first way is passing the auth object in your cy.visit command. So whenever you navigate to a web page, we use cy.visit command, right? So along with the cy.visit, we need to pass an object, which is an auth object. And inside that, we will pass this username password. So now let's go to our editor and let's start writing the code for it. So first of all, I'll just copy the URL of this website. And I've already created a basic template over here. So this is my describe block, which is basically your test suite name. So this is my it block, which means your test case name, and all the actions would be written inside your it block. Fine. So like I mentioned, in order to handle it, we will pass auth object inside the cy.visit command. So first thing is we will write cy.visit, and URL I already copied. So I'll just paste it. And now we need to pass an auth object. So how we are going to pass it? You have to pass it like this. So this is auth, and inside this, you will pass username. So what is the username for that? So the username for this web application is user. And then along with the username, we have to pass password also. So this is my password. So yeah, this is a two-liner code where you are trying to visit the authentication app and then you are entering username password. But after visiting the application, how will you verify if you're logged in or not? So in order to verify that, so we will write some assertion also. So let's say if we have entered username password on this side. So I'm entering my username password, which is user and pass. So I'm trying to sign in. So once I'm signed in, I can see over here login success message on the page. So in order to verify this, what we can do? We can perform an assertion on the page. So first of all, let's find the locator for this one. Let's inspect it. So you see over here, this is login success text. So we can actually copy the text, and using cy.contains, we can find the locator first, right? And then we will add some assertion. So in the assertion, we will write should be visible. If it is not visible, it will throw error. And we know we are not able to see this login success page until unless user enters the username password on the web page. Okay. So this is our end-to-end test case to handle Baisc Auth. Now let's run the test case and let's see if it is working fine. So I'll just go to my terminal, just enter the command npx cypress open. Now select end-to-end testing, and let's say we will select Chrome over here. And this is my test case Baisc Auth. Now if you see on the page, we can see login success on the page, and this assertion is also passing over here, right? We can see fine. Let's say if we want to test some negative case, in that case, what we can do? Let's pass some invalid username and I'll rerun the test case. And in this case, our assertion would fail. So you see login failure. We are not able to log in and your assertion is failed. So you can see over here, it's saying you have not successfully logged in. Basically, we wanted to log on the successful login. We were able to see the login success message on the page, right? So this way we can check the failure case as well. Okay. Now this is our first approach. What is the second approach? The second approach is basically you can provide the username password directly inside your URL. So how we are going to do that? Let's see that. So I'll just create one more it block over here. So I'll just copy the same and I'll just write over here. This is my second approach and cy.visit. In this case, I'm removing my object from here, and inside my URL, I will pass my username password. So after this, you have to pass username. So our username value is user and then colon password. So what is the password? Our password value is pass, and then @ your rest of the value of URL. The second approach is to provide username password directly into your URL. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's change it back to the correct username password. And now let's run both the test cases and let's verify. Fine. So let me rerun it. So first test case got passed and the second one also got passed. Now, so we will see one more approach to handle it. So how we can handle it? We can create a common command for it. Say you have multiple scenarios in which you have to open the web application. So in those cases, you have to repeat these lines of code, right? So in order to avoid these lines of code, what we can do, we will create one common command, and then we will use that login command to directly log in onto your page. Instead of passing the cy.visit into a test case, we will use that. Now let's go to commands.js file. So this is inside our support package. So you see this commands.js, and inside this, we will create a new command. So how you can add a command over here? You just have to write like this, cypress.command.add. Fine. And over here, you have to pass the name of the command. So I'll just pass it login Baisc Auth. Fine. And inside this, we'll create a callback function and we will define all the steps inside it. Now what I will do, I will just copy this command from cy.visit till here, and let's go to commands.js and pass it over here. Now we will not pass cy.visit or authentication or username password. We will just copy the command name. So this command is created in commands.js. Now you can use this command in any of your test case. You just have to pass cy.this command name. So I'll create one new it block for it. Let's say this is my third approach. So in this case, I will write cy.login Baisc Auth. That's it. I'm not going to provide cy.visit or username or password. We are just going to provide this, and that's it. And then we will write the command for assertion. Okay, so this is pretty simple. You can see we are not passing any URL directly into our test case. We are not hard coding anything into our test case. We are just changing it. We have just created a common command, and in case in future, if your username password gets changed, you can just go to commands.js and change it. But in case if you are using this cy.visit in multiple test cases, you have to go to each test case to update it. That is a lengthy process. So as an automation engineer, we should think about a quick way to deal with all these cases. Now let's run the test case. Let's see if the third approach is working fine or not. Let's see. So I'll rerun my test case. We have all the three approaches over here. Second approach and third approach also got passed. You can see contains the assertion is passed in third scenario as well. Now we saw three approaches to handle Baisc Auth. We will see one more approach. So the other approach is, let's say you have passed your Baisc Auth like this one, okay? But this username password, you don't want to hard code it. In that case, what we can do, we can pass it from our environment variables. So what you will do in your config file, which is cypress.config.js, we will create an environment variable, and inside that we will pass username password. Now let's go to config file. So this config file is at root level. So you see this cypress.config.js, fine. And inside this, we will create environment variable. So you have to create it like this. And now inside this, I will pass username. And what is the username? So username is this and the password. So I have passed username password inside my environment variable. Fine. Now in order to access it over here, what you will do? So I'll just remove this user. Instead of user, I will pass like this Cypress dot environment. So what is the environment variable? So our environment variable is username. So first one is username. And for password, what is the environment variable name? For password, the environment variable is password. Now let's run the test case and let's see if it is working fine with environment variables or not. Let me close and rerun the test case. Let's see over here. So if I try to open it and run our test case, so this is the first approach. So you can see over here, it got passed. That means it actually fetched your username password from your environment variable. And similar case for second one also it got passed, and the third test case also got passed over here. Fine. So we saw different approaches how we can handle it. If we want to hard code it, we can pass directly in the username password. If you want to pass it as environment variable, you can create environment variable in your config file and pass it like this. Okay. And the other way is if you want to pass it as part of your URL, you can provide it in your URL also. So you just have to pass your username :password, and the rest remaining value will be same. Fine. And the third approach, we created a common command, and in that common command, so this is a common command. So over here we have passed username password and visit command directly inside your command file. So we are creating a common command for it, right? So these are the different approaches for it. So let's say if you want to test it in headless mode, to run in headless mode, we have to use this command npm cypress run, and we have to provide our spec file. So what is the spec file? This is Baisc Auth, and what is the path of it? So this is inside Cypress and inside my end-to-end folder, you see, and then this is Baisc Auth. Here I will pass Cypress end-to-end and Baisc Auth.cy.js. Now if I run the command, so all my test case should get passed in the headless mode as well. So this is running my test case. You can see one spec found, and you can see all the test case passing. So that means it will work fine in Electron browser as well. So you can see the browser over here in the logs. So let's see the browser. So you see this is running on Electron browser, which is 140, and this is a headless mode. So we saw it is working fine for Chrome. It is working fine for Electron when you are trying to run on headless mode. So this is also very important. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you find it informative, and this is very important topic, and this is one of the famous interview question as well. So this is often asked in interview, how to handle basic auth in Cypress. So if you know more than one ways to handle it, it will really make your profile strong. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and if you really like it, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.